Hey everybody, good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, July 13th. This is Ben Capozzi with Broad Shoulders Farm in beautiful Halifax County, Virginia, USDA Grow Zone 7. I thought that I would talk here today briefly about planting out the family greenhouse, which is the big project, little project that I've just been working on slowly. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, that's what's coming up next. I will flip the camera around and I'll show you what's what. So you may remember this cattle panel tunnel greenhouse from previous videos. This is the second or the third I made, maybe the fourth, I can't remember. But it's one of those, 2, 3, or 4. This one is about 9 feet wide by whatever the height is there, probably 8, I would say. And it's got kind of a unique form. I lifted up the southern side, the northern side, so south is directly that way. So it's got great southern exposure, but you can see a little better from out here. Just this north side is elevated, and there is a nice wire mesh down here to keep larger varmints out. I got lots of mice in here, but so far so good. And I chicken-proofed the door here. During the winter I had poly on here, and in fact up until fairly recently I still had chickens in here, but I got them out so that I can get started on this. This is, like I said, the family greenhouse. It's got 2 beds. It's got a southern bed over here and then a northern bed that I'm still working on. Once I cleared out the chickens that were recuperating in here, this was a former chicken ICU, it's just been time to get this thing rocking and rolling. So what I did is sort of a lasagna system here of a couple bags of really good composted cow manure, and then hay, and then soil from this area. In the retirement run, I'm clearing out a path over there, so I've just been bringing 5-gallon buckets over here to fill this up. And there's probably, I don't know, 50 gallons that I moved over to this area. I started planting some tiny bok choy a few weeks ago, I guess about a month ago. This stuff matures pretty darn quickly though. This is a Hedu tiny bok choy from Baker Creek, and it grows really fast and it's really delicious. And what I've also got in here right now are some chives. So I've got some perennial onions, and I did 9 rows of greens in here. So I've got I think 3 rows of like scarlet kale, 3 rows of a Nero black or a Toscana, like a dinosaur longleaf kale, and then I've got 3 rows of an Asian green that I grew last year that I really liked, called Chijimasai. So I've got those in there, and they're on fairly tight, 4 to 5 inch spacing. That'll allow me to get smaller greens for a while if we prefer those for our salads, but then as I thin them out I can let the plants mature a bit. And all of these are great for cut and come again, and all of them do well in both the heat and the cold. So here it is in July. Today is actually a mercifully cool day. It was hot earlier, but there's a nice overcast now, and I can feel the temperature dropping. There's a chance of rain, not a high chance, but it's definitely going to be overcast. So I am enjoying the heck out of that. I've also got a couple annuals in this bed so far. I've got tomatoes, a mix of Cherokee Purple, and I think it's Black Prince, and then another one called, it's like Wonder or something like that. But anyhow, it's basically 2 cherry varieties and then a good all-purpose variety like Cherokee Purple, the good deep color, rich in anthocyanins. And then I think I've got 1 great white tomato back there. The tomatoes I didn't start myself. I got a really good deal on them at the farmer's market from another farmer who's just kind of clearing out. So I got, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 tomato plants for less than 20 bucks. And I've just been dropping them in where I can. I don't know how you do your tomatoes, but I always plant mine. So if a tomato plant goes up like this, I take the start and I plant it sideways, and I pull off all the leaves, and then I bury that long stem and the little root ball, and then the tip starts to, it only takes maybe 24 to 48 hours, and instead of going out that way, it will correct its growth. And in that way, I've got that whole long stem forming roots. And my experience with doing that in other places in the garden has been that then I really don't have to water them once they're established. So that's what I'm going for here. So my hope is that low to no watering for those. We'll see how it goes though. I am in the greenhouse. I'm gonna add some more annual veggies down here, maybe some flowers, maybe calendula or some cosmos. I'm just not quite sure. Definitely more veggies and such to come. I've got oregano down here that is coming in. It's not coming in, that I got plugs for. And so I'm looking forward to that. And you know what I'm trying to come up with is a mix of annuals and perennials, because this is the family greenhouse. This is what I'm growing for me, Elise, and Annie, and other family members who visit. So I want to be able to get some good stuff out of here year round. Of course, that means greens. So for the summer, it's things that can handle the heat. This little tiny bok choy has done well. As I work on this bed today and get it ready, you can see that I've actually already planted a Malabar spinach, the red stem variety. I got great starts of this at Abbott's Farm Garden and Gun, one of our local nurseries here in Halifax. It's a great family-owned business, been here for 40 years or so. But the Malabar spinach I really like. It's not a true spinach, but you can use it like a spinach substitute. It loves the heat. It needs very little attention. And the leaves are, they say it's mucilaginous. You know, it's kind of like okra, which I guess some folks would equate with slimy, but I think this is very mild and very good. The chickens absolutely adore it, which is always nice to find. And I have some of this growing in the Bantam run just for them, and it's doing really well. I've got it isolated and it's kind of growing out of the cage where they can reach it, but it forms these little black seeds, and I can't remember if they're edible or if they're just something you can make dye with. It's certainly something that I can save for next year, because I would like to grow this again. But it does really great. The hotter the better. I think it's a tropical native, so I'm gonna eat this now. Yeah, it's like a really mild kind of a spinach texture. It doesn't taste as minerally as spinach, but I like it. But I'll take these three main stems here, and once they reach the cattle panel here, they'll grow up like this, and I can harvest from them for the rest of the summer. I've also got a Thai Red Roselle that I planted here. It looks a little sad because I'd left it in the pot too long and it had set a root in the ground there, and I just yanked it out yesterday and transplanted it over here finally. So it's still a little unhappy, but it's got water and it'll bounce back. It's still pushing plenty of new growth. It'll get much bigger. This is a really neat plant, especially if you like red zinger tea. I've grown this before. I also got this at Abbott's as a start. So great plant. But what I'm doing today in here is coming back in with straw, or hay, and I'm gonna lay a layer of hay, and then get my my compost in, and then get my soil that I'm digging up here from the retirement hen run, and build this bed up and level it off so that I can plant more stuff in here as well. I have an idea that I'm going to come along the edge here and add a couple different varieties of spinach. So I'll probably do like a moss curled, not spinach, I'm sorry, parsley. So I'll probably do like a moss curled parsley, and then something straight and flat leaf like Italian or something. And I'll just get those in here because again, they're basically perennials, they're biennials, but they will be here year round like the chives, and I can come in the middle of winter and get some really nutritious leaves to add as a garnish, to add to soups, to add to salads, etc. And that's kind of the balancing act that I'm working with in here, is coming up with what do I want to devote to annuals and what do I want to devote to perennials in here. And I have some ideas. I may put some Turkish rocket in here. I may put some Dietrich's wild broccoli rabe in here. Even though I'm planting those in places elsewhere around the garden, I think that it would be neat to have at least a small supply of those things here as well. But we'll see. You know, I mean, greenhouse space is precious, and the most that I'm trying to get out of it right now are some really healthy greens, nice cruciferous vegetables, good cancer fighting things. and just overall good things for salads and such. So, and there's one little thing I'm working on outside here. On the southern side, I did this real narrow little bed because I had so many of those tomatoes. And again, I just put in the tomatoes, I laid them over and dug them up. And this bed is, I don't know, 6-8 inches deep. It's held back with chicken wire. I got those in 2 days ago, and they've already kind of started to correct their growth, and they're working on growing more upward than horizontal. And I sprinkled 3 different kinds of basil seeds in here. So I think I've got like a lemon basil, a purple basil, and then a cardinal basil. And I've got my 3 6-foot or 7-foot T-posts. And I will come back in with baling twine as these tomatoes start to come up, and I'll just form a little wire trellis for them to grow up. And because this is the southern side, you know, again, I think this is a pattern that I can repeat in the years to come. It will create more shade so that next year, if I try to grow greens in here a little earlier, maybe some lettuces, it will go a little better. Look at that hen hopping in that bed. You bad chicken. So we'll see. So that's what we're working on. There's a little update on this bed right here. Questions, comments, concerns, helpful critique are always welcome. I'm going to soak a few sunflower seeds to get them in here as well. And now I got to go beat this chicken for getting in here like a horrible lady. Hi, I love you, but you got to go. I put that there specifically so that you couldn't do that. Okay, proof of concept. She's showing me where I need to fix my design. All right, I will talk to you folks later. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're up to, you are doing well and staying healthy, happy, and whole. I'll talk to you guys later. You can follow the farm at Broad Shoulders Farm on Facebook and Instagram. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Hey, Flash. How's it going, buddy? Hey, Stitches.